I'm Jeff McCord. We are live here on KUTX at Austin City Limits Music Festival on a Saturday morning, and here with me are Zach and Kyle from Portugal, the man. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for showing up early. I know you got a big show today. For your set last week was incredible. I really enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun, man. We love this festival. It's one of our favorites for sure. Always had a good time here.
I expect you played a few festivals and
we've been around.
Yeah,
we've been around. We've done a few things. It's really cool to travel around and see all of them, though. Everyone has a very specific vibe and tone to it, and it's really amazing to see all those. And Austin is one of the. I really like it because it seems like a very real festival, because there's a lot of them that seem more about fashion or drugs or partying than music, and there's different kind of vibes, and this one is really special because it's got a really intense music vibe, probably just because Austin's such a big music city, and it's still really close to downtown, and it's fun.
It is a fun thing. This is our first year to do this over 2 weekends, and I expect we'll be asking every band this week, but what did you do between last week and this week?
We've been busy little bees, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. The day after our show, we flew to Chicago to do some promo up there, play an acoustic show. Then we flew back the next morning and met up with the band in Florida. Played a few shows there. 1 day off, or kind of a half day off, and then yesterday we played an acoustic show in Gulf Shores, Alabama, which was really fun. It was our drummer's birthday yesterday, so we had an open bar all day long, and that got a little rough. Swam in the ocean. It was a really fun night. Many a margarita.
And then a long drive back here?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize this probably, but it's very expensive to keep a band out on the road, and you got to keep doing stuff to make money. And I'm just fascinated by the prospect of all these bands converging here, then spreading out as far as they can and coming back for this weekend. So
it's definitely difficult with the radius clause around festivals, especially over the 2 weekend gap. But yeah. I think it's specifically cool for this one because a lot of places. I'm from Alaska. I'm from a very small town, and we didn't get a lot of good shows.
Alaska, right? Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so I think that's cool. Places like like along the Midwest that don't normally get a ton of shows. Tulsa's shows have probably been amazing for the last couple weeks, and same with Wichita and everyone on the outskirts that don't normally get a lot of music are probably getting quite a bit right now.
Yeah, I imagine everyone's looking for any gig in any shape or fashion.
Yeah.
You mentioned the radius clause. Why don't you explain that? Every festival has a
yeah, definitely. And a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people. We get emails all the time, and we're very good about checking them. Not super good about responding because there's a lot of them, but eventually we get back to everyone. But a lot of people ask, I don't have enough money to come to a festival. Why don't you just play? You're in Austin right now. Why don't you just play Dallas in between? Yeah. And there's rules. They can't. The festival's got to. They're putting in a lot of energy, a lot of money. Just investing huge into this kind of thing, so they have a rule where you're not allowed to play within a certain time limit for, a certain number of miles in a circle around the city, which totally makes sense. And every time I explain it to somebody, it's obviously I was like, oh yeah, that completely makes sense. But a lot of people don't know that.
So everybody's got a bug out of town.
Yep.
Okay, you guys started in 2005. Do I have that year right?
Yeah, about that.
You're very prolific. You've made 8 albums in that time. That's a lot more than most bands, I would say.
We've been busy. I think the singer and I grew up in Alaska, and when you grow up there, you're just automatically instilled with a pretty serious work ethic. Anybody turns 14 and just bam, they're building houses. It's like right away, and that's just what you do. And people do that. It's a very hardworking community up there. And I think we just kind of took that to heart when it came to the music industry, because we definitely know that we're very lucky to be in the position that we're in, and we've worked very hard to get here, and we're not going to take anything for granted. We're going to keep working. We don't take too many days off. And if we do, the bus usually breaks down, and so.
And you have to.
And we have to.
Yes. Well, it's admirable. You've made so much great music over this time.
Thank you.
A relatively short amount of time, really. You mentioned Alaska. It's very remote where you're from, and of course, you guys aren't there anymore. You're based in Portland.
Portland, Oregon now.
Portland, Oregon.
Kyle's from Seattle, but he was recently, year and a half ago, moved down to Portland.
So we all live like a month there.
Yeah. We don't spend too much time there, but.
Do you ever get back to Wasilla, or?
Oh yeah. We actually got to go back this summer. It was the first time I've been back in the summer for quite a while, and that was amazing. The summers up there are beautiful. Got to do some fishing, but we always go back around Christmas time. We always plan a show around Christmas time so that a lot of our friends that come back home for Christmas can be there, and it's good. We go back at least once a year.
Your new album is called Evil Friends. It's on Atlantic. It's your second one on Atlantic, and it was produced by Danger Mouse, Brian Burton. What was it like to work with him?
Man, he was amazing.
Yeah.
How did he change your working methods?
How did he change what?
The way you worked in the studio.
I mean, he's got a really specific taste, and he's really good at just like organizing everybody's thoughts. You know, an idea. Everybody's got a lot of ideas. Everybody wants to put them down at the same time, and as musicians, you're concentrated on what you're doing. He'll sit there and just take in the whole picture, and he's just like such a good producer in that sense, where he can hear where the song's going. And he made us do a lot of he does a lot more stripped down stuff where we'd stack stuff up on records, and it was really refreshing because when there's that much less, everything's that much more important. So it really makes you think about everything you're adding and what purpose it's serving or why it's there.
Yeah, he's so incredibly smart, and he knows, being an artist himself and being in bands, he really understands the band dynamic, and so he knew how to kind of guide us without it being negative or making it feel real natural for us. One of the smartest things I've ever heard in my life. We were trying to figure out. We were working on the song "Evil Friends," and we had just kind of broken it that day, and we were trying to come up with just a hook. We needed something right at the beginning to kind of suck people in, and we were all just talking about it. Way too many cooks in the kitchen, and so he did the smartest thing. He went to each one of us, and he went around and he said, "Listen, I want you guys all go into separate rooms. If the hook was going to be played on your instrument, I want you to go in there and write it." And so in one way, I knew what he was doing, but it was so smart. He was clearing the room, so he and John, our songwriter, could just kind of talk and think and kind of be by themselves. But at the same time, it also got us thinking in that way. Like I play bass. I never thought about that, but there are definitely bass hooks. And so I'm like, okay. So I went in a room and it just made me think completely different about songwriting and how to really utilize everyone and everybody's instrument. But I just thought that was the coolest, smartest way to go about it and really get something productive done.
What was funny, in the very end, we were talking about doing stuff over the guitar riff, and at the end it was just like, actually there should be nothing. That guitar riff is the hook.
Yeah, that was just the thing. The chord progression is the hook.
Yeah.
And so he just wanted everybody to leave so he could just kind of realize that. He had us all come back and he was like, listen to this, the guitar is just great. That's the hook. Yeah. We don't need anything else.
We're like, all right.
Damn, you're right, man. So right.
Well, you can't argue with the results. It's a great record.
Thank you. Yeah,
and I'm sure you guys are very pleased with it. You plan on working with Brian again, or do you?
I'm sure we'll do something again in the future. Yeah, he's turned into a lifelong friend.
Yeah, he's had great success with the groups he's worked with, and I wish you guys all the success in the world. We've been talking with Zach and Kyle from Portugal the Man. You guys are playing 4 o'clock today?
4 o'clock.
And hopefully everybody can get out to see them. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
I'm Jeff McCord. This is KUTX 98.9 live from Austin City Limits.